are all on a healing journey, but believe it or not, many people have resistance to actually healing themselves. In this video, I will show you what the most common blocks to healing are and how to transcend them. Fear is one of the biggest blocks to healing because people are actually afraid of changing their lives because they don't know what the unknown is going to hold for them. Fear creates a false sense of security. People would rather hold on to their trauma and their wounding because they know it. They're so familiar with it that the fact that they might heal it will shift something so fundamental to their lives that they're not ready for what healing is even going to look like. Fear is one of the lowest frequency states we can experience. The opposite of fear is love, one of the highest frequency states. If you hold on to fear and don't look at what you need to heal, what you're doing is just further embedding this frequency deeper into your energy field. Through healing, you can finally shift that fear vibration and reach higher states of consciousness. For some reason, we don't trust that the version of us that's going to emerge is going to be healthier, happier, more conscious and free. Fear of doing any kind of inner work, whether it be inner child work or shadow work, is another major block to healing. The shadow contains the unconscious aspects of ourselves that are usually hidden from the ego, or the parts that the ego doesn't want to acknowledge. It is sometimes referred to as our dark side. These aspects include emotions, desires, and behaviors that some may interpret as negative. The goal of shadow work is to eventually integrate the shadow by bringing these unconscious aspects forward to understand them, to find out the root of our triggers and the reason why we react and behave in certain ways, as well as which repressed emotions need our attention in order for us to meet all our aspects with compassion and unconditional love. Shadow work helps us to understand the deeper and unexpected ways that we interact with the world. Through shadow work, we learn how to drop the false personas that once helped us survive, but now, through healing and integrating the shadow, we can operate as our authentic self who is here to thrive. The fear of healing is such a major block to healing because people hold the fear that if they look at their wounds and start to process their trauma, they will further open them up and then re-traumatize themselves even more than the original wounding. In reality, they're actually coming out of shock and now fully looking at their wounds and healing their trauma so they no longer store that trauma in their body. If you want to be the butterfly, you can't be afraid of the metamorphosis. Staying in the cocoon forever is a false sense of safety and security. Remember, no mud, no lotus. The best and safest way to finally heal and overcome the fear of healing is to work with your inner child. Sometimes the fear and anxiety we may have around healing is actually us feeling our inner child who's been calling for our attention. When you finally meet with your inner child, you're able to give both you and the inner child the love and security you need to fully look at your trauma and start to heal. To learn how to connect with your inner child and safely do inner child work, you can watch my video called How to Heal Your Inner Child. Self-doubt is another block to healing because many people simply do not believe that they can fully heal themselves. Whether you work with a therapist or an energy healer, most people hold a belief that they cannot actually heal. And when they actually receive healing work, they doubt that this is going to help them. This is a block to healing because you're actually resisting the help and the healing energy you need to fully transcend an issue. If you hold the frequency of self-doubt in your body, you're actually restricting your entire energy field along with your breath, and now you are blocking yourself from receiving the help you need. You don't need to believe in something in order for it to work and help you, but when you're holding self-doubt deep in your cells, what you're actually doing is resisting any sort of change and flow, and now you're blocking that new version of yourself that wants to come forward. Healing takes time, and we may feel really run down if we've been on a particularly long healing journey, but don't lose hope. When you start to become pessimistic and think that nothing's working for you, that's when you start to block yourself. What may actually be happening is you're waiting for the universe to actually send you the help you need, whether it be through a book, the right practitioner, or the right healer. Having some patience and self-love and actually trusting when these things are going to come for you will allow you to stay open and allow yourself to heal even deeper. Low self-worth is another block to healing. Some people don't feel that they're even worthy and deserving enough to heal. If this is the case for you, you may also have a receptivity block. So when someone is actually trying to help you, or if the universe is sending healing your way, you won't feel worthy enough to receive that healing. This not only blocks you from healing yourself, this blocks you from all the joy that you can create in this lifetime. For more information on transcending a receptivity block and creating even more joy in your life, you can watch my video called How to Create Joy Now. Everyone is worthy of healing themselves, and if you believe that you're not, then how are you going to create anything you want in this entire reality? In order to have enough vital life force to heal yourself, you have to allow self-love to enter the space, and self-love enters the space when you trust that you are worthy and deserving of that love and of fully healing yourself. For example, if you're healing a broken heart, but you don't feel like you're worthy and deserving of love or ever finding love again, you have now created a block to the very issue that you want to heal. When you realize that you're worthy of love, your own love, and the love of the universe, you will now attract the right kind of love for you that will transcend any limitations that you once believed about yourself. We can accumulate many false beliefs over a lifetime that can also serve as a block to healing. These can be false beliefs about ourselves, about the world, and even our own ability to receive healing. False beliefs can include beliefs that you'll never find the help that you need, that healing won't work for you, that you're too sick or you're too difficult, that you're only going to face obstacles on your healing path. We can inherit some of these false beliefs from our parents, from our caregivers, basically anyone we've been around who's had a negative belief system that we now take on as adults. Other false beliefs can be that healing takes too long, that it only works for other people and not the person who wants the healing, or that if they actually heal themselves, they'll just attract everything back that they put so much effort into releasing. These are called false beliefs for a reason. These are thoughts, these are things that come into our consciousness that are only here to slow us down and actually don't mean anything. These false beliefs just come in because either the ego has some sort of fear of death and not wanting to look at the shadow, or from just a lifetime of trauma that we actually don't believe that good things can happen for us. And one of the biggest false beliefs out there is that you can't help yourself and that you need someone else to come in and save you. We can heal ourselves and we can save ourselves, and we can drop any belief that says that it has to be difficult or arduous. And even if something is difficult, it doesn't mean that it's going to last forever. Have the perseverance and strength to know that once you commit to your healing through the power of your intention, that you can create major shifts that you want to see. Many false beliefs can come from a doom imprint. In my healing sessions, I see doom imprints come through past lives and also the ancestry line. A doom imprint is exactly what it sounds like, a strong sense of doom that's imprinted into the energy field. It's like a feeling that something is always going to go wrong, or once something's actually going right, you're waiting for it to go wrong, or you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. This can also feel like anxiety or like having a pit in your stomach at all times, anytime you're trying to do something positive or beneficial for yourself. So a doom imprint is a block to healing because what it's creating is just a sense that once you start healing yourself, something's going to go wrong or it's just not going to work or last. Trust that things will be different this time, and when you commit to something, you are creating a new pattern of reality. When we finally release a doom imprint, what happens now are the things that we once thought were a possibility are now a probability. So believe that you can heal and believe that it's actually going to happen for you. This requires trust in ourselves, in the universe, and in our higher guidance. Even if we've lost this trust through surviving trauma, we can get this trust back by committing to our own healing journeys. The truth is, we're always guided by the universe. We've got spirit guides, we've got our star family, and we have our higher self. To learn more about the higher self and how to actually work with your higher self, you can watch my video called How to Connect to Your Higher Self. Your perception of yourself and the universe can even affect your ability to heal. If you believe that you are small, inconsequential, if you feel that you have no power, then you can't command power. By commanding power, I am referring to commanding your own creation energy that's innate in all of us. We are all powerful creator beings, and it's important to be in a state of mind where you don't see yourself as battling life. Instead, you are creating life. You are creating your own beautiful life. When you take hold of your healing, you will see that you create what comes next because you're actually breaking through barriers that once existed, and now you have a whole field of opportunity available to you. A good example of this is the moment you actually begin a self-love practice and sincerely start to love yourself. This creates such a head change because we actually see ourselves differently and we see how worthy and deserving we are of everything that we even want to create in our lives. We even start to advocate for ourselves, whether it be for our health, our happiness, or our community. Once you truly love yourself, healing doesn't just become something you have to check off a list. It becomes a lifestyle where it's a joy to look at yourself and give yourself all the opportunities you need to fully work through anything that's ever troubled you, but to also start to create a new way of life for yourself. Life is always giving us the opportunity to listen to ourselves and access our inner wisdom. And the way we receive even more guidance from the universe is by demonstrating we're one with it through the choices we make and trusting ourselves. Feeling ungrounded is another block to healing. Sometimes the body needs to feel safe, secure, present, and grounded to even feel like it can take on this grand work. When we feel safe and secure in our bodies, it's much easier to do any kind of inner work because we feel like we've got the structure and support to actually go through with it. Grounding allows us to feel clear, present, and calm. To learn how to ground yourself and actually be present through your healing process, you can watch my video called How to Ground Yourself. Another major block to healing is actually pretending that you're not hurt or pretending to be unbothered by something. Acting like you don't care isn't about just keeping your cool. What it's actually doing is numbing yourself. Acting like you're cool or chill or like you don't have a problem is extremely detrimental to your healing because what you're actually doing is numbing. And when you numb yourself to pain, you can't heal it. Choosing to numb yourself instead of looking within reveals a lack of intimacy with the self. And when you become more intimate with yourself through your own inner work process, this is how you can actually fully heal an issue. Feeling your feelings and meeting yourself where you're at is an extremely delicate and intimate process, but this is key to healing yourself. A great example of this is pretending to not be heartbroken when you actually are, and then just trying to move on as quickly as possible. You can't heal heartbreak without getting to the source of why you are hurt in the first place. Feeling heartbreak is absolutely terrible. Most people try and go their entire lives to avoid this feeling altogether. Unfortunately, it's part of the human experience, and it also teaches us the most about ourselves. You deny yourself the opportunity to heal when you numb yourself and hide from your emotions. Emotions are our greatest teachers, especially the painful ones, and feeling them doesn't mean that we take them on further and stay stuck in this horrible state. Feeling them is how you actually fully heal them. You are allowing them to come forward, you are out of resistance, and now you are releasing them. Different things in life can break our heart. It could be going through struggle, it could be a partner. Anything that allows you to feel this heartbreak is obviously an opportunity to go deeper within your heart center. Heartbreak actually opens up the heart center, and although it's a painful process, what you're actually doing is allowing more energy to flow through you. Now, when you love yourself through the process, that's how you actually heal the heartache, and now you're just accessing more energy through your heart center. So if this requires you to put on your saddest playlist and cry it out, then go for it, because you're actually just allowing yourself the time and process to fully heal yourself. If you want to know what you need to heal, just look to see what you have resistance to. Some people have resistance to feeling grief, so they try and block out feeling any kind of heartache. But going into this space is how you can actually heal the issue to begin with. Processing grief is extremely difficult, but allowing yourself to get in touch with the deepest parts of your grief are how you can release it. If you have resistance to being present, then you can work on your grounding and work on what it is that takes you out of body and has you hang out in the mental plane. Some people self-sabotage because they have a resistance to being successful. Now, this sounds funny, but what actually is going on is that they have a fear of being seen, so that sabotage is a way to not process that fear of being seen and actually being successful in their lives. You don't have to go digging for something to heal. Just allow whatever is coming up for you to be the thing that you focus on. As soon as something triggers you, don't numb the feeling. Go follow the thread and see where it leads you. Once those emotions are raw, then you can decide whether or not you want to do some inner child work or shadow work to start to understand what's actually going on with your emotions. This is how you can heal things in real time instead of numbing them out and then having them come up at some other time when you're not prepared to handle it. So ask yourself where your resistance is showing up, because once you work through it, that's how you enter the state of flow. Judgment is also one of the greatest blocks to healing. Judging your own healing process is extremely detrimental. It creates even more resistance, it can create guilt, and it can affect your self-worth. If you hold a judgment that your healing is taking too long or that you're doing something wrong, this is how you actually create guilt and feel like you're not even worthy and deserving of continuing the process. The most harmful thing you can do to yourself is judging how long your healing is actually taking you or thinking like you're doing something wrong. Some people can even feel shame or guilt over what their healing even looks like. These are just ways that we critique ourselves and pick ourselves apart so that we don't continue to heal. The key is to take healing one day at a time and don't judge your process. Don't compare your healing process to anyone else's. If someone's telling you that they healed something overnight spontaneously, great. That has nothing to do with your own healing process. You take all the time you need to fully heal yourself and allow yourself time to actually integrate everything that you learn about yourself. Healing isn't just this beautiful aha moment where we realize that everything is wonderful. It's a messy process where things break down and then they come together. And this is what you want to honor for yourself. People say that comparison is the thief of joy for a reason. You might compare your own healing journey to someone else's, and so if something took you a little bit longer, you might diminish that and think that you're not hitting your healing goals just because someone else's journey looks completely different than yours. We all came here with different things to heal and with different soul contracts. So it's absolutely silly to think that our healing process is going to look like another's. At any moment, we can introduce positive habits into our lives and give ourselves the time to see the benefits of them. Sometimes it happens right away, and sometimes it just takes a bit longer. The whole point is to allow yourself to have this play out and enjoy the process. When we remove judgment from our lives, we can actually enjoy the process of our healing and actually reap the rewards of all the hard work that we are doing. Allow yourself to let go and ease into your healing journey. At some point, it actually becomes an adventure where you enjoy learning about yourself, healing, and expanding. We all want clarity when healing ourselves, and it rarely arrives in a pretty package. It requires a destruction of the former self and personas that felt real and got us to where we need to be, but no longer resonate and now block us from knowing ourselves and evolving. Most of us make a choice to heal ourselves, sometimes through crisis. Life chooses for us. Either way, trust that you are fully worthy and deserving of healing yourself, and trust that you have the power to do it.